Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Food Exposed. In today's video, we're talking about the innocent gems. Are they really the innocent one? Let's find out. We all know that the food manufacturers out there mostly care about the profit. That's meaning that sometimes the quality of the produce a little bit subpar. So we're talking about the jams, and as you can see in front of me, I have a selection of homemade jams. But one, I know a thing or two about the jams because I've been making them for absolutely years, and I do not ever buy a supermarket version. However, by definition, the jam it's a fruit and sugar boiled together to a jam-like consistency. To legally qualify be called a jam on the label, it requires 350 grams per kilo of jam of fruit to be in your jar for a normal jam and 450 for a posher version jams. However, last year, the 2024 European regulations upgraded this to 450 grams and 500 grams for a posher jams, which sounds kind of a good type of figure. So generally, as I said, the jam consists of basically fruit and sugar, but sometimes with the addition of the peptin. Well, technically, this is what you hope it actually contains. But let me tell you, sometimes what we see on the label or in fact inside the jam might not necessarily be the truth. So one would think if you have a strawberry jam in front of you and it says it contains 35 grams per 100 grams of jam, so you would expect you have a 35% of a strawberry inside this, because in the end of the day, I cannot stress enough, the jam only contains of a strawberry, if it's a strawberry jam, and sugar, and maybe a little bit of peptin, but it is not always the case. So I've got my trusted information here, and we're talking about the fruit. Okay, so allowed fruit, or in fact allowed forms of fruit. So as a jam, so regulations define fruit as a fresh, sound and ripe fruit in the following forms. So we're talking about a whole fruit. Okay, that's good. Chopped or sliced fruit. Brilliant. A fruit puree. Okay. A fruit pulp. Okay. A fruit juice. Okay. Concentrated fruit juice. Okay. And a fruit peel. Okay, fruit peel, I give it that. Okay, we're talking about the marmalades. But fruit juice and concentrated fruit juice. In the brackets, this is a reduced juice with intensified flavor. Okay, so this is allowed forms of fruit in your jam. So basically, that would indicate to me that you take a basic bottom line jam, which I have in here, okay, and to me that indicates for it to be legally called a strawberry jam, they can take a 350 ml of a strawberry juice of any kind, put in, about a kilo of sugar, bring it to the boil, add on maybe a cup of pips if there are any, I don't know, basically jar it up and call it a strawberry jam. So is that a little bit deceiving or what? To me, jam, it's fruit, it's made of fruit. To me, the legislation should not allow them to use juice or even a concentrated juice to make a jam, because technically it doesn't become a jam, it just becomes a jelly. So now let's look at the permitted ingredients. Again, do bear in mind that the jam should only consist of the fruit that you name any jam after, sugar and a little bit of peptin. So permitted ingredients, and this is under the Jam and Other Similar Product Legislation 2003. So they're allowed to have sweetness, be it in either sugar or honey or substitute or both, acids, lemon juice or citric acid, or to balance the acidity, fair enough. Gelling agents like a peptin, natural or added. Gelatin is not permitted. And flavorings, additives, so you can use the essential oils, but citrus oils only. Herbs, spices, spirits, wine, vanilla extract. Anti-foaming agents, so they can have edible oils and fats in small quantities, and colorants. They say natural colorants only. Okay, so this is on the top of the normal jam. Fruit, sugar. Okay, I understand things are made commercially, but again, this is not my biggest gripe. So we're talking about the labeling requirements, okay? And again, it's very straightforward. It's pretty much like with anything else in there. So product name, strawberry jam. So or orange marmalade. So it must follow the legal definition. So obviously if it's strawberry there, you kind of have to call it a strawberry. Yeah, the word is a strawberry, not strawberry juice, but strawberry. But nonetheless, okay, they're missing the point. So fruit content percentage, so prepared with 50 grams of fruit per 100 grams. Sugar content, they have to indicate that it's got 60 grams per 100 grams. As well, they legally, really, as an average, the sugar content should be at least 60%. This is for the preservation point of view, to make sure your jam is actually shelf stable. Ingredients list, they have to mention all the ingredients, allergen information, use best before date and weights, and a storage instructions. So you might think, well, okay, Anna, maybe it's not that big of a deal if they're using a strawberry juice to make a cheap strawberry jam, because after all, the strawberries are a very expensive ingredient, and if the manufacturer decided to substitute that with a strawberry juice and then make it into the jam, then maybe it's okay. What we're talking about actually other adulteration in the jams. Well, okay, the industry is kind of very well regulated, so they say, but we know FSA quite often pull the stuff off the shelves after they've found something that doesn't comply. It happens pretty much on a weekly basis. But there is also a little small print that kind of allows those companies to flour up your jam as you wish. So the companies are allowed to use other fruits as substitutes without necessarily mentioning it on the label. So we're talking about things like apple, or things like pear, or things like pumpkin. They're very flavor neutral, but they take to the other flavorings really, really well as colorings. And you'll think, well, oh my God, why on earth would the apple or pear puree will be doing in my strawberry jam? Well, this is exactly my point, but it does happen. I'm not saying it's happening in here, but it's actually proven fact that some manufacturers add on things like the apple and pear puree, and even pumpkin puree, to bulk up the jams. And do you know what? This is absolutely permitted. And do you know why this is? Well, because after all, the apple and the pear are also a fruit. And as long as they contribute to the content of fruit to make it to what it needs to be at 450 grams, then it's apparently a-okay. I know in Victorian times, right, they used to fiddle with jam all the time. They used to bulk it up with all sorts, including a sawdust, just as kind of to make it a bit, bigger volume than what it is. But my point is, right, guys, let's just get to the chase to this one. Again, we're talking about the labeling and legislation and regulations. Yes, I totally understand that. Okay, it says it's 35% fruit. Okay, but to me, by definition, if it's a fruit, it cannot be a juice. Because let's be frank, again, who actually gets to prove the point? What sort of juice is that? Is juice that it's full of other nasties and additives? It's certainly not going to be fresh strawberry juice. I can assure you of that. And the point is as well that the manufacturers can use additional flavorings and colorings to make something look what it is. So half of the time, as I said, you can look at that and you can have a jam here full of apple puree, or pear puree, to give it a bit of the grittiness, and pretend there's a strawberry because they maybe have some strawberry flavorings or strawberry juice. So to me, this is not right. It's got to be a better regulations. But I know they say it's very difficult to prove, because when the jam goes through the process of going through really high heat, we're boiling pretty much sugar and whatever other substance they put in it, and apparently they say it's very difficult to actually prove what other fruit gets in there to be substituted. I heard numerous amount of things that people have been emailing me and telling me, the people that work in certain places, that it's very easy to adulterate something. To be fair, right, I make a lot of jam, and I've been making this for a very long time, as I said. And sometimes I can make a very sweet jam, what I use a 2-to-1 proportion of 2 sugar to 1 fruit. And if I accidentally cook it for just a little bit longer, and then I put this in the fridge or on the shelf, and then later on come to taste it, sometimes I can actually figure out myself, if I haven't labeled this, what fruit is that? Because this is how close it is. When we're boiling sugar to a really high temperature, it kind of eats away at specific tastes. So something that should be really flavorful and fresh in flavor might just taste like a sugary spread. So as I said, I have some jams in front of me, okay? And I want to open up the strawberry, what we call a jam, and then I'm going to show you, and I'm going to open up one of my own strawberry ones, all right? So this preserve here is actually called a jam, right? So it's got ingredients: number 1, sugar, because that's high content of that, strawberry, okay, acidity regulator, citric acid, trisodium citrate, gelling agent, in brackets peptin, and it says total sugar content 62 grams per 100 grams, and prepared with 35 grams of fruit per 100 grams. So as I said, my issue there, I would like you to tell me, or manufacturer to tell me, is there 35 grams of strawberries or is there 35 grams of juice? I think I know the answer to that one. So let's open it up and have a look. So there we are. Let's have a look at the jam. So this is the supermarket version. You can see it's pretty much really dense. It doesn't really shine anything through it. And then I have my own version. Take a look at that, look. You actually have some berries. So let's get it opened up and see, okay? Hopefully you get to see that. Here we are. Right, so this is what apparently 35% strawberry jam looks like. Okay, it's just looks like yeah, that's your strawberry jam. Yeah. Okay, and let's now have a look at the homemade version. Here we are, look at that. Right, so look at that. See? This is a strawberry jam. Well, look, strawberries, look. Here we go. Don't have to be as big as that, obviously. You can make them whatever you want them to be. But the point is, okay, this is what you call a strawberry jam. So, to give you an idea, so this is 35%, well, let's say this is 35% of a real strawberry jam. So this is 35%, and this is 35% of I don't know what. So there we are. So there we are, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video, at least find this helpful. The moral of the story, yet again, every time you go shopping, do pick up and have a look on the label. Make sure you're not getting something you're not bargaining for. At the best of, to be fair, I do strongly suggest you to learn how to make your own jams. It is very rewarding. It is not that complicated. And in the summertime, guys, I will share some recipes with you. But in the meantime, please don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.